Welcome to Wake Up Well. I hope you're well. I'm glad you've woken up. I'm Ruth. Let's get cracking. So today we are starting a new series. We're looking at Proverbs and we're going to be doing a chapter a day, which is quite a lot of content. So I think people are picking and choosing. And today the theme of Proverbs 1 is wisdom. The theme of the whole book is wisdom. But the theme of Proverbs 1 is, what's the point? It's a good introduction, right? I think every time you write something, you introduce it, you should start with, why am I writing this? What's the point? And Proverbs does just this. So I'm just going to pick a few passages. So we're just going to go 1 verse 7 and then 20 a little bit onwards. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. And then if we hop over to verse 20, wisdom calls aloud in the street, she raises her voice in the public squares. At the head of the noisy streets she cries out, in the gateway of the city she makes her speech. How long will you simple ones love your simple ways? How long will mockers delight in mockery and fools hate knowledge? If you had responded to my rebuke, I would have poured out my heart to you and made my thoughts known to you. And so when I first became a Christian, I was at university studying philosophy. And so philosophy, I think I studied philosophy because I loved the logical analysis of what's going on in the world. And I love the theory behind loads of different things. And I was so drawn towards Proverbs when I became a Christian because it's wisdom. Who doesn't want wisdom? Wisdom seems like the greatest thing. If someone describes you as wise, in my opinion, that's maybe like the highest thing you could say about someone. And that's what I really wanted. I wanted wisdom. But actually, this first passage reminds us that the fear of the Lord is the first step. If you do anything, fear the Lord and not be afraid. I mean, the Bible tells us over and over, do not be afraid. But the wisest thing you can do is get to know God and get to know who he is and get to know that it's not just about us. God is greater, like far greater and far more colossal than we can ever imagine. And I think the fear of him, which it talks about here in terms of wisdom, is just taking him seriously, not sidelining him, kind of understanding how awesome he is, being in awe of him. And it goes on to say, we've rejected wisdom. And I think it's a true call. It's a call today that was true back then when this was written, and it's true now. And I think we do need to come back. And I think the first thing we can do is just recognise that it's not about us. The least wise people are the ones who are very self-involved. They try and fix their own problems and amend their own issues in life. But actually here, it brings us back to God. The first thing we can do to gain wisdom is come to God. And I remember the story about Solomon, and he asked God for wisdom. And I remember learning about that and being like, yeah, wisdom, that's what I want. But I think back then when I was learning about wisdom and yearning for wisdom, I wanted it so that I would be really wise, just so that I would have this name of being someone who was like great in their own eyes. I wanted wisdom for the wrong reasons. When we come back to this first chapter, we need to remember that wisdom is not the end. That's not the goal that we're trying to achieve, just to be wise so we can sit on our thrones and be like the wisest person in the world. It's actually, the wisdom, it's a means to an end. It's not the end itself. When we're looking at wisdom and we're looking at wanting to become wise and having this greater perspective on life, it's that it's part of it. It's getting to the ends. And it's getting to acting in the way that God would want and coming into this perfect relationship with him. It's not the ends itself. It's not just, look how wise I am. But it's, God has given me this wisdom so that humanity can live more intertwined with him. So something to remember today. I'm just going to pray for us. God, I thank you that you are a God who gives your people wisdom. Knowledge is great, but wisdom is the thing that will set us apart. And God, I pray that today we would let you give us this wisdom. We wouldn't be proud, but that we would be humble in asking. In those situations where we don't know what to do, would you guide us? But would you remind us that it's not just so that we look good. It's to glorify you in everything we do. Amen. So yeah, take this, think about it today, dwell on it, and yeah, be wise, guys. Be wise. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.